Coach kind of talked about coming into this game that it was going to be a physical matchup. They were going to, be physical. I guess how did you feel like you guys held up in the trenches?
Um, Obviously not good. I don't know how much they rushed for, but it was too much. One play we got drove in. We made contact at the 5, and their O-line and the running back drives it in for a touchdown. So we didn't play good up front at all.
Coach also kind of talked about, they're 0-6, but they're better in that. Do you guys feel like you looked at this game any different, or maybe didn't bring your best because of that record?
Uh, we tried not to look at the record, but I felt like we didn't play like we didn't look at the record. Um, I mean, it's college football. Is any given Saturday, anything can happen, and that's what I tried to tell the guys. But we didn't play like we thought this team could beat us.
Obviously, you guys have been up and down this season. You've had some good games, some bad ones. It seems like every other game. Just the inconsistency, I guess, is that a point of frustration, and how do you get a little bit more consistency from one week to the next?
Uh, Doing your job, man. I say it week in and week out, but it's simple. You look at the New Mexico game, everybody did their job. And tonight, runs were breaking out. And, I put blame on myself, too. I got caught out of my gap a couple times. We just got to do our job, man. Read your keys. They came out and did some things that we hadn't seen before, but it's football. Down blocks equals spill, Stretch is stretch. We just got to make plays and do our job, and that's simply what we didn't do today.
Why do you think people get out of doing their job? Are they trying to do too much,
Sometimes it's seeing too much. Sometimes it's wanting to make a big play. Sometimes it's, oh, I'd never seen this. It's the first time they run it, and, it's a big play. And then once you see it, you get used to it. But, there's no excuse for what we did today.
They had some success throwing the ball second quarter, beginning of the third quarter. Why do you think they were so successful throwing the ball against you guys today?
I don't know. Up front, we didn't get enough pressure on them. We got to him a little bit. We got some hits on him, but hits don't mean anything. You got to sack the guy, and we didn't do that, I don't think, not once today. So you can blame that on the D-line.
Coach kind of said the body language was not good in the middle of the game, and he was trying to get you guys fired up. Do you felt like you guys almost felt a little bit defeated there in the middle section of the game before making that last charge?
Caught off guard.
Yeah.
21-7 at half. Nobody expected that. And then to come out and give up a big play and then a touchdown, it's hard, man, to get everybody on the same page and everybody to be, still in it. Because, you look at the end of the game, we still had a chance to come back and tie that game. So it's just hard to get everybody on the same page. Some guys think, oh, man, the game's over. Mm-hmm. But you just got to believe, and that's pretty much it.
You feel like it's kind of the same situation coming off the UNLV loss. You just have to rally troops again and get their heads up, and, there's still a lot to be played for in the West Division.
Yeah, everybody is beating each other, but we got to put 5 games together moving forward and get wins, but it starts with Hawaii. So want to know at the end of this week, and then we'll see where we stand after that.
I feel like you guys are losing a little bit of time in trying to find that consistency and, make that push. There's only 5 games left.
Yeah, we're in the second half of the season. We should already be in our groove and have it. But, like I said, I had some bad plays today. I can't speak for anybody else as of right now, but I had some bad plays today, and as a leader, I can't let that happen. So we got to find our groove, and we got to find it fast and be consistent for the next 5 games.
I feel like you guys need to find a sense of urgency and, feel like there's only about a month left in the season.
Yeah, and if we want to go out how we say we want to go out and achieve the goals that we say we want to achieve, we better get our stuff together.
Questions for Tyler?
How big was the end of the first half and then spilling into their first drive of the third quarter and, kind of putting you guys into a pretty big hole?
They played pretty well. They came out ready to go, and they came out ready to go in the second half as well. So we just gotta score more points in the first half. We can't put ourselves behind the 8 ball. That's as much on us as it is on the defense. So that's what I would have to say about that.
Do you feel like you guys are struggling in the first half and then find it in the second half? It seems like that's kind of been a theme to some degree.
Maybe a little bit. I couldn't tell you exactly what it is, but we need to start out faster for sure, and it's on me to get those guys going and make sure we're in the right play. And I need to do that throughout the whole game.
I know Coach talked about entering this game. I know they're 0-6, but they're better than that. Do you feel like in some way you guys were thinking this team's 0-6 and maybe didn't come out with the same fire and passion? Or
No, I don't think so. We were saying all week, we're watching film, we're like, we didn't understand how they were 0-6. We were really surprised just watching film. Like, if we watched film and not looked at the scoreboard, we'd be like, it was a little like, well, that seemed weird. It didn't seem like they lost that one. But that was a record, but we weren't worried about that because they're going to come out and play, and they came out and played pretty well, and they got the job done.
obviously you come out in the second half and a lot better drives. I guess what changed for the offense, or were you guys just executing better?
Just execution.
Yeah.
First half execution wasn't good enough. It's on me. Starts with me and trickles down. So first half we got to get those guys going. Second half was a little bit better, but still wasn't good enough, obviously.
Yeah, James on the wheel route and then Jericho down the field. I mean, is that kind of the story of the game? Is just an inch here and an inch there, and just a couple plays unmade?
I can't miss those throws. It's the bottom line. Can't miss those. They're both wide open. Both would have been touchdowns probably, and I can't do that to us.
The last play there, 4th and 5, they obviously brought a huge blitz. I guess what were you guys trying to do with that play, and what did they do, obviously, to stop it?
They brought a pretty good blitz. I tried to get out of there and buy myself a little bit of time because I knew one guy was going to be free just by our protection and the blitz they brought. Probably should have changed it, but I didn't have the time to. That's on me again. And I tried to buy myself time, and then I just couldn't get the ball off.
It seems like you guys have been up and down. Every other game play well, and then maybe fall back a little bit. One step forward, one step back. I guess how do you gain that consistency so where you guys are building on each game?
Just all being on the same page and executing the play call, and I need to make sure we're in the right play, from run plays to protection, all that type of stuff. Because obviously we need to help out our defense. I think our defense played pretty well, and we need to help them out more in the first half, especially with scoring points.
Okay, thank you. Do you feel like you guys took this game like they weren't an 0-6 team, or do you feel like you maybe let that seep into your head and didn't bring out your best effort?
I think we approached the game with the right attitude, the right practice week and effort and all that stuff. Yeah, man. I think we prepared like we were playing anyone, like we're supposed to. As far as today, we just didn't come to play. We just did not come to play.
Obviously, the end of the second half, first series for them of the third quarter, was a big momentum change. Mm-hmm. I mean, do you feel like how big was that, as part of the game, and was it hard to kind of, dig out of that hole? It was huge.
It was huge. But, when we got opportunities right in front of us, we got to be able to take advantage. We got to be able to play a complimentary game. You know what I'm saying? We got to be able to take care of the D. When they have tough days, we got to be able to go out and go make things happen. So, and if we're lagging on offense, the defense got to be able to hold us down too. So, like I said, we just got to complement each other, man. When we see one side struggling, we got to make it happen.
You had said after last game, 35-point performance, this is what we're capable of doing. Mm-hmm. I guess why did you guys fall back again today? What was a little bit off offensively?
Started too slow, way too slow, man. We took us way too long to score. Back to the details of things. It's small things, that don't make a play go. And we just got to focus on those things a little bit more. After we have a good week, we can't get away from them.
Is that a frustrating thing? I mean, you guys haven't had back-to-back wins since about the middle of last season. It just seems like you can't, stack a win on top of a win, 2 good games together.
It sucks. I'll tell you that for sure. It doesn't feel good that, we can't get anything kind of rolling yet. But I got faith, man. I always got faith. So, I just say we go back to work tomorrow, and we figure things out and start going.
Kind of like after the UNLV game, you want to put this one behind and move forward. Do you feel like you guys are almost kind of running out of time to get there, though, with only 5 games left in your career?
We don't have a lot of time. We don't. So, I think pressure makes diamonds. So we'll see how we take advantage of this thing. We'll see how we react.
It just seemed like a 3 or 4 series stretch there. You guys gave up some big plays. Other than that, you played pretty well. I guess what happened in that little series there toward the end of the second half or end of the second quarter, beginning of the third quarter?
Really, we just weren't playing sound defense. We were making mistakes, missing a lot of tackles, missing a lot of play fits. Also, I believe that we had prepared for a little bit different of a look during the week. So we were playing our base defense, but then again, you could tell that we weren't playing like a sound defense because we had practiced something different throughout the week. You know, but that's our bread and butter. We should be able to call that up and run it at any point in the game. Other than that, yeah, I would say that there were just, you know, missed tackles. There were slight misfits, and they exploited them. They had good players who capitalized on our mistakes.
Lenny even said they did some things a little differently than we expected. I guess, what did they do that maybe you guys weren't looking for heading into this game?
You know, I think without getting into the specifics, I really just think that the formations, they ran some different formations. We had a game plan, kind of preparing for some other formations, but then, you know, once we started playing good D, they went back to the stuff that we had prepared for. But at the beginning of the game, they came out with a different look, and like I said, we should be able to adjust to that, because those are our plays that we've run as a defense since day one in the spring, base defense. And I really just think that we weren't able to run our base calls tonight. We weren't playing as a good defense tonight. So I mean, you could talk about all the things that they did, and they played very well, but I really think it came down to our defense not playing well.
Coach even said he felt like they played more physical in the trenches than you guys did. I mean, do you feel like that's an accurate assessment?
I mean, at times, yes, definitely, because they were getting some drive. But then at other times, I thought we were holding our ground too, and it's really hard to tell. I mean, you can tell when at a linebacker level, when you have guys coming up into your lap, then you know that they're moving the trenches. But then when you can get up there and your D-line keeps them off of you and you can make plays, then we're holding our own in the trenches. So I think that it does look like we didn't play as physical as them, because we're used to being the more physical team in the trenches. We have a dominant D-line, and we have a dominant front seven. We have a dominant defense, but I don't think that showed today.
Well, you guys kind of have been up and down this season. You know, one good game and then you fall back a little bit, one step forward, one step back. I guess, how do you find that consistency, and is that a point of frustration knowing that you can play at a level, but it's just you're not reaching it every game?
It's definitely a point of frustration, and I think that's a lot of what we were trying to talk about on the sideline is stop worrying about who we're playing about on the other side of the ball. Stop talking about the running back and how big he is or how fast he is or how physical he is. Stop talking about this team who's 0-6 but doesn't play or show on film like they're 0-6. They're better than their record. Stop talking about them. Prepare for what they run and prepare for what they do, but let's focus on us as a defense. And that's what frustrates me the most, is being a guy who's played, you know, for some time now, and a guy who is one of the leaders of the defense. I'm tired of focusing on the other teams and tired of focusing on what they do. Let's focus on what we do, and let's get our stuff right so we can carry on that way.
You feel like you looked at 0-6 too much, not you specifically, but the team?
No, I don't really think that was in our mind, and definitely wasn't in the coach's mind either. The first thing Coach Polian said at the beginning of the week was, hey, this is an 0-6 team, but they have guys. They have a great coaching staff. They have great players. He put up the leaderboards, the Mountain West leaderboards. We were not overlooking this team at all, at all. We knew that we were going to come in, and we knew especially that it was going to be physical in the running game. We knew that. But I think we almost went the other way so much that we lost track of keeping ourselves together. We got so distracted in how good of a running game they were going to have and how good their back was that we didn't focus on bringing our defense along. It was completely the other side of the spectrum.
There's obviously still time in the season, but only 5 games left in your career at Nevada. I mean, do you feel like there needs to be a sense of urgency to, you know, accomplish what you guys want to accomplish this year?
You know, as a senior, I personally, it's tough because you do realize that the time you have on the field is limited. But then again, I don't want to be the guy that just thinks about, oh, it's my senior season and, you know, I have to play with urgency. I really don't look at it like that. And when we always talk about it, we play one game at a time, so we don't even think about how many games are left. We don't think about, you know, who we're playing next week, or I'm not even thinking about, you know, the last week or my last football game or my last season. I'm just thinking about, okay, it's just another week to go 1-0. And I don't think that the team's looking at it as a sense of urgency. I don't think we're frustrated in that sense. That you know, I mean, everyone's probably going to be thinking about it in the back of the mind, like this is going to affect, you know, our standings in Mountain West. But then again, it's still just, we have a 24-hour rule where we look at the past game, and we also have a mindset like 1-0 in the week.
Cool. Thank you.